Cedar Point, located in Sandusky, Ohio, is one of the largest amusement parks in the world. It has 17 roller coasters and over 70 different attractions and sits on a peninsula jutting into Lake Erie. Just 6 hours down the interstate lies Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. This park is also home to many rides and attractions and is arguably the best park in the country. Which of these parks is superior? This is an amusement park war, Cedar Point versus Hersheypark. So how will this video work? First, we will test the strengths and weaknesses of each park by running them through different categories. Then, we will total up the scores and give my thoughts on the parks. With all that said, let's jump into the battle. I've come up with 10 different categories to test the parks here. Let's begin with the category 1, being the first one people encounter when going to a park: prices. I'm going to start by giving Cedar Point a 7 out of 10. A normal Cedar Point ticket is around $50 during the season, and paying an extra $10 online will get a free meal and parking. That's about $60 per person. For an amusement park this size, that doesn't seem bad, but the water park here is separate and costs a lot extra. Pricing is also taking into account food and gifts, and they are pretty expensive. I know this is an amusement park, but food can cost a lot. Hersheypark, on the other hand, is getting an 8 out of 10. This might not make sense at first because Hershey has more expensive tickets, around $70 per person. Hershey's tickets include free admission to the Boardwalk, Zoo America, and Hershey's Chocolate World. Rides in Chocolate World cost a bit extra, but you can still enter for free. Also, gifts and food here are a lot cheaper compared to Cedar Point. The Kiddy Ride collection is actually a pretty easy category to grade. I give Cedar Point a 9 out of 10. Many times when I go to Cedar Point, I actually say they have too many Kiddy Rides. Cedar Point has 3 separate sections: Kiddie Kingdom and Planet Snoopy in the front and Camp Snoopy in the back. So many rides are here for the kids, from mini coasters and drop towers to little circular car rides. They have everything for kids to enjoy. Hershey, on the other hand, is getting a 5 out of 10. Hershey still has kiddie rides, just not as much, and it's set up very weird. Only one very small kiddie coaster is here, along with some very tiny kiddie rides. Most kiddie rides are scattered around the park, only a few being close together near the front. Cedar Point has a lot of flat rides scattered around the park. The most thrilling consist of Max Air, Windseeker, Power Tower, and Skyhawk. Each of these provide a great thrill and a different sensation on each. Also included in Cedar Point's lineup is a flat ride for every family member. They have some classic and small rides like the Matterhorn. This is why Cedar Point is getting a 7 out of 10. They could use a bit of expanding still, especially in the spinning ride category. Hershey will be getting a 6 out of 10. Hershey unfortunately has less thrilling rides, the most thrilling being the Hershey Triple Tower or the Claw. A plus with Hershey is that they have a lot more family rides, including the Whip and the Howler. Both parks in this war have magnificent coaster collections. For Cedar Point, I'll give them a 9 out of 10. Cedar Point's lineup isn't perfect. It has some missing coasters like a new generation Woody and a spinning coaster. But this is basically as good as a coaster collection can get. They have coasters for everyone, the thrill seekers, kids, and the general public. Each coaster is unique and thrilling. Hersheypark will also receive a 9 out of 10. While Hershey doesn't have as great higher tier coasters, they have better lower and middle tier coasters. Hershey also has more variety in their lineup, which in my opinion equals the two out. These parks have some of the best roller coasters in the world. Cedar Point has Vengeance, Dragster, and Millennium Force. Hershey has Skyrush, Candemonium, and Storm Runner. This is a bit of a weird category, but I'm going to be discussing souvenirs at each park. Cedar Point is going to be getting a 7 out of 10. In prior years, Cedar Point's gifts hadn't been the greatest. They had a few nice shirts, but nothing more than that. Now, Cedar Point is working on upgrading their merchandise. I have seen the new merch at Winter Chill Out, and it looks spectacular. This is why Cedar Point will be getting a higher score. Hersheypark, on the other hand, has some of the worst ride-related merchandise. The only merchandise I have seen at Hershey is chocolate shirts and a few coaster shirts scattered about. The ride shirts are few and far between. Basically everything is chocolate-related. If you like chocolate and Hershey-branded clothing, then I am sure you'll love the merch here, but for ride enthusiasts, it isn't great. Hershey is getting a 4 out of 10. Both of these parks have great operations. Cedar Point getting a 7 out of 10. Unfortunately, Cedar Point's operations have been declining in the past few years. This is coming from someone who visits 20 times a year, so take my word for it. Over the past few years, especially in 2019 and 2020, Cedar Point has a lot slower operations. Hershey, on the other hand, even during the tough months of quarantine, had great operations. Hershey will get a 9 out of 10 for always being on top of it. Some rides take less than 40 seconds to dispatch, like Skyrush. Hersheypark might have the best operations at an amusement park in the States. Another category here is food. Cedar Point will be getting a 6 out of 10. I would say that Cedar Point's food is okay at best. At Cedar Point, you have your typical amusement park food, with chicken, pizza, burgers, etc. But I have to give credit to Cedar Point for having some great variety and more restaurants on the way. Cedar Point is introducing a new chicken restaurant and a vegan restaurant soon, and also bringing back some famous snacks from the past like the juice bottles. Hershey's food, while they also have typical theme park food, they have lots of variety and great modern restaurants. They also have tons of great sweets. Of course, with it being Hersheypark, they have to have some treats. They have many drinks full of candy and some nice restaurants which give Hersheypark a 7 out of 10. Navigation is our 8th category. Cedar Point will get an 8 out of 10. Cedar Point's layout makes lots of sense, with only 2 dead ends I can think of. These dead ends are the Steel Vengeance Plaza and the Rougarou Plaza. Even with this, Cedar Point is a circle, making for easy navigation. Parking is a breeze here, with 2 roads from US 6 leading to the peninsula. Hershey, on the other hand, is a bit trickier to navigate. Hershey is located off of a side road, and the parking lot can be a bit confusing. Inside the park, it has a circle, but a large dead end by Lightning Racer. This half-a-mile-long path is annoying because you have to walk down and then all the way back up the same path. The layout can be a bit confusing, so Hershey will get a 5 out of 10. Atmosphere is one of the most important categories. Cedar Point is getting an 8 out of 10. Cedar Point is a beautiful park and has a pleasant atmosphere. The lakeside setting makes for beautiful views and breezes during the summer. Nighttime at Cedar Point looks like a completely different park, and Cedar Point is modern with many different rides that are all presented well. Unfortunately, Cedar Point can be a bit dirty, especially in the water park, bringing it down a few points. Hershey gets a 9 out of 10. At Hersheypark, you can really tell the staff cares about the park. They are making jokes in line, and the paths are clean, and everything looks well taken care of. Even with the lake at Cedar Point, I think Hersheypark does a better job with their overall park atmosphere and their scenery. This is the final category, and it's often forgot about when making these types of videos. Extra activities in parks is important in order to spice up guest day and leave them coming back for more. Cedar Point is getting an 8 out of 10 for extra activities. There are 2 main extra activities here. The first one is, of course, the water park. Cedar Point Shores is huge and could take an entire day in itself. Also at Cedar Point is the beach. The beach is great alone, but at night the beach transforms with outdoor games to try like cornhole and giant Jenga. Hersheypark gets an even higher score with a 9 out of 10. Hersheypark, while it doesn't have the beach, it has more stuff to do. Hershey has a water park, known as the Boardwalk. Also located at Hershey is Zoo America, a large zoo free of charge with a Hershey ticket. A zoo and a water park would be a lot of extra activities already, but Hershey's Chocolate World is also here, full of chocolate-related activities. These add up to make Hersheypark better in this final category. So the final score is Cedar Point with a 76 out of 100 and Hershey with a 71 out of 100. This was a very close park war. So do I agree with the turnout of this war? I do. I think Cedar Point is a superb park with many qualities like the coaster collection, atmosphere, and park operations. Of course, Cedar Point isn't perfect, and they could do some stuff better, like with food and merch. Hersheypark is also a great place. The coaster collection, atmosphere, and operations are all fantastic, and it does a lot of things right. It's just that Cedar Point does some stuff better than Hersheypark does. Overall, both of these parks are magnificent, and I highly recommend visiting both. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe and hit the like button. Comment below which park you prefer, and join my Google Classroom. There's a code in the description. Email me with questions or concerns, and have a great rest of your day.